Here's another show you can enjoy in the True Story FM family of entertainment podcasts.
What's up, Supernatural superfans? I'm Krissy Lenz.
And I'm Nate McWhorter.
And we're the host of
Gank That Drink,
a supernatural drinking game podcast.
It's the podcast where we make up drinking game rules for a favorite episode of our favorite show, Supernatural.
We recap the episode for you and let you know how all the rules played out.
Then we let you know the drinking game rules for the next episode, so you can play along.
Plus, members get every episode early and ad-free.
With some extra bonus content chit-chat at the end of each episode as a member exclusive.
So download Gank That Drink, a supernatural drinking game podcast wherever the finest podcasts are available.
And or become a member at truestory.fm/gankthatdrink.
And when you're out there in the world saving people and hunting things,
you know, the family business.
Keep the Gank That Drink motto in mind. Be excellent to each other and party on,
dudes.
Ever wonder where the devil got his horns?
How about those cloven hooves?
Or that pitchfork?
Wasn't he an angel?
No, he was a snake.
No, he's the great red dragon.
No, he's the beast.
He's the prince of this world.
Prince of darkness.
Well, he's the prince of darkness.
Good morning, star lovelies. One of my names is Lester Ryan Clark.
And I sometimes go by Keenan Diaz.
And we're the hosts of the brand new podcast, The Devil's Details. What comes to mind when I say Lucifer?
How about Satan?
What about just the devil? How did the big bad of the Western world end up with so many faces? Join us as we dig up, decipher, and deconstruct the devil's many forms throughout history.
Take a guided tour with Dante through the 9 circles of hell.
Or revisit Satan's angsty bad boy years in Paradise Lost.
Learn the ins and outs of a Faustian contract.
Easier than a 1099, but with a hell of a lot more fine print.
Slither on over to The Devil's Details on True Story FM and join us in the diabolic discussion.
Love and hisses. Mwah! Didn't Al Pacino play him in a movie?
Are you sure that wasn't Robert De Niro?
I could have sworn it was Tim Curry.
That was Elizabeth Hurley.
Didn't he go down to Georgia at some point?
Hooked on you, baby, you're golden. Time moves, I never noticed. Just can't get enough. Got me wonderstruck.
Hello, and welcome everyone to Make Me a Nerd. I'm Mandy Kaplan, a mainstream mom whose mission is to seek out and nerducate myself, trademark, about all things nerd culture, whether it be comic books or sci-fi, fantasy. Dungeons and Dragons is coming up in some form or fashion. I really want to figure out what I've been missing out on all these years, everyone, and thank you for coming on the journey with me. This is a first for Make Me a Nerd. In my premiere season here, I have a repeat guest. Back by popular demand is the absolutely wonderful, charming podcaster, improv comedian, mom, all-around fantastic woman who has come the closest to actually getting me to be a nerd. It's Krissy Lenz!
Yes! Oh, I'm so proud of that. Yeah, I'm going to hang my hat on that. Someday when you get a cold, you're going to watch Supernatural.
Exactly. That's exactly right. What new nerd stuff have you been into since we last spoke?
That's a great question. I've been into this show that's in the Sandman universe. Have you done any exploration in the Neil Gaiman Sandman universe?
No.
It's called Dead Boy Detectives, and it has a lot of cast in common with Supernatural. So it's sort of also Supernatural adjacent, but it's about 2 ghost boys who solve ghost mysteries with the help of one living psychic girl.
That sounds fantastic.
It's really cute. It's on Netflix.
Okay. What's it called?
And
Boy Detectives?
Dead Boy Detectives, yeah. So I would say it's nerdy because it's part of the Sandman universe and it's a little bit adjacent to Supernatural, and it's very supernatural in its plot and stuff. So I would call it nerdy.
Okay. And what mainstream stuff are you into?
Well,
dare I ask?
Let's see. I have just started watching, and I'm new to it, Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, that's very mainstream.
It's very mainstream, and I'm loving it. It's it's such a
good.
good show.
I've
I'm
never
like,
seen it.
I had never seen it either, and so it's on Netflix, so I popped it on as a background show, and now I find myself like really paying attention to it and like
hmm
watching it. It's a great show. I recommend it.
Yeah,
But that's as mainstream gets, I think.
I think so. I think you absolutely nailed it, aside from perhaps The Bachelorette, which I watch.
Oh
But
yes, I haven't dipped a toe yet into the Bachelorette water. You'll have to educate me one day.
one day, I mean, I'm not proud of it. I watch it in shame, but it's very entertaining,
Yeah,
low
that's
stakes.
all
I
that
don't
matters.
care. Yeah. Um, well, I also, I solved a murder since I spoke
Oh,
to you last with the fantastic
congratulations.
Tom W. Metz III of the True Story family. We
Hmm.
did a thing called, oh God, To Hunt a Killer, I think is the name of it. And they
Oh yes,
send,
I love to hunt a killer.
wait, have you done specific murders? Have you, I don't know.
Yes,
We've
I've.
gotten 2
Which one
criminals
did
off
you
the
do?
streets.
Well, good for you.
Well, actually, one of them was dead. We did the most recent one was the theater one. Did
Oh,
you
I
do
didn't
that?
do that one. Mm-mm.
And then the other one was like the high school reunion one.
I did that one. Yes.
So much fun. And it makes me think of the thing you recommended, Brindlewood Bay.
Yes.
And so
Mhm.
that's next for my sleuthing group, which is my husband, my son, myself, and Tommy.
Excellent. That sounds.
Yes.
It's so much fun, and I love the fun stuff they send you. It's like socks and hats, and like the
Yes.
evidence that they send you is all this
Yes.
cute little stuff that you're like, what do I do with all this cute little stuff? Do I keep it in the box? Like I had a pile that was like of the boxes that was like a person high,
Uh-huh.
and it was just full of all the evidence and stuff because I couldn't bring myself to throw it away.
I know, because they're very real objects and tactile
Mm-hmm.
things. There was like a beer cozy and
Mm-hmm.
cufflinks, and it's really fun.
It's great. I love Hunt to Killer. I highly recommend.
Yes, me too. So that I feel that was pretty nerdy, but I've always loved
Yeah,
murder mysteries and stuff. So I
that's
think I
that's
really
pretty
will like
nerdy.
Brindlewood Bay.
Yeah.
I have a birthday coming up, and I have made it known I want it from Amazon for my birthday. Not from you, Krissy, but from someone in this house.
Okay. I think you have to get it like on the back streets.
No, it's on Amazon.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Cool. I didn't know that. I thought it was like more of an underground kind of thing.
You're going to Mexico for your fix?
Yeah, I'm going down underground
Yeah.
into the mean streets
Ooh, I like it.
to get my role play game content.
There's an action comedy in there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan, honey, make a note. I want to write that script. Okay.
Yeah, do it.
I just decided I have an assistant named Jonathan. Congratulations to him. So you assigned me something I have been very afraid of, because when
Ah.
you bring it up, people say, whoa, it's been on the air for 175 years and there are
Uh-huh.
25,000 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your history with Doctor Who, and what made you choose it?
Oh, well, I thought after we did Supernatural, well, I wonder if my plan would work for Doctor Who, because it is so daunting. There's so much of it. There's different doctors. You really could spend a whole episode on each of the different doctors. So I thought, I wonder if I could make my Supernatural plan work for Doctor Who and just pick 3 really different episodes. With the idea being that if you like these 3 episodes, you will like what you see if you then plunk yourself down and start at season 1, episode 1, and make your way through the more recent Doctor Who's. I'm not saying
Yes.
go back to the 60s.
Okay. I mean,
Don't
I
do
only
that.
have one lifetime. I can't
It's true.
commit to
It's
that
true.
kind of time.
You can't.
No.
No. They are wonderful, but we got to stick to the modern classics.
So we started with season 5, episode 10, called Vincent and the Doctor. The Doctor discovers a seemingly alien figure in a window of the painting The Church at Auvers and decides they must travel back in time to speak to Vincent, yes, everyone, that Vincent, around when he painted the painting. In 1890, they find Vincent at a cafe in Arles, a lonely man with a bad reputation. So this Doctor Who is played by Matt Smith,
Yes.
who is Prince Charles on, not Charles, Philip.
Prince Philip, yes.
Philip on
The
The
husband.
Crown.
The husband, yeah.
Right. So that's how I recognized him.
Mm-hmm. He's also on the Game of Dragons, House of Dragons show right now. Yeah,
Okay.
House of the Dragon.
Haven't gotten there yet.
Speaking of nerds.
Right. This was a star-studded episode that started with my beloved Bill Nighy right at the top. And when I saw that, then I saw it was written and directed by Richard Curtis. So we were in very good hands here.
Yes.
So what made you choose this particular episode to start my journey on Doctor Who?
It's one of my favorites. I think it shows a lot of heart. And Doctor Who has a lot of like really deep heart, I feel. And it's also a fun, adventurous romp. And you get a slice of history. And my favorite episodes of Doctor Who are the ones where they go and they meet historical figures. Like they meet Shakespeare, they meet I'm blanking on who they meet Charles Dickens. They meet
I saw a promo for that one. Yeah.
Yes, that was the next one after the season one that we watched. And they interact with all these fun characters, but I particularly love the portrayal of Vincent van Gogh and his interaction with the Doctor, who is my favorite Doctor, Max Smith, the 11th Doctor, and my favorite companion, Amy, who is Karen Gillan.
Whom my family loves deeply from the Jumanji movies.
Oh, the Jumanji
Ruby
movies
Roundhouse
are my favorite. Yes.
Love those. Love both of them so much. So I saw her and I was like, oh, it's Ruby Roundhouse, Karen Gillan. Yeah, she's great.
Yes. And she's so fun in this episode too. She has such a good time when she buys all the sunflowers and she's thought, I don't know, I just thought you might like to have them around.
Well, there's a very Bill and Ted's feel to this episode. You know,
which
going
is
back
my
in history.
favorite movie.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
huge
now fan. I'm learning. So, I mean, I really liked how light and quirky it was. And then, yes, there's a ton of heart. They go back and they find Vincent van Gogh, who has been deemed crazy. And they discover maybe he's not crazy. Maybe he's haunted by these aliens that are visiting him and only he can see them.
Yeah,
which would make anyone appear crazy.
Because he has that like different way of seeing the world and the universe and looking at things. He can see this invisible alien that's invisible even to the Doctor and Amy. Even with his magical Doctor Who devices, he can only see it like in a mirror looking behind himself. But Vincent can see it all the time.
Right. So I did say, explain the mirror thing to me. Is it facial recognition technology? Is this something we see in other episodes? I was very confused.
No, it was just it's just a what's the phrase? What starts with an M? A MacGuffin?
I didn't catch the name of it.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like, you know, a MacGuffin in the movie is like a weird thing that solves the problem.
I've never heard that.
The problem? Really? Oh.
Yeah.
We never see it again. It's just a device that he uses for this episode that helps him to try and identify what the alien is.
Okay. And the alien was a very large, scary chicken dragon.
Chicken dragon, yeah. A grunt-faced. Yeah.
Grunt-faced. That, and is this something from mythology, or this is just they made it up for this episode?
They made it up.
So if you all want to take a moment and Google an image of the actor who played Vincent van Gogh, as the Brits say, in this movie, Vincent van Gogh was apparently the Danny Bonaduce of his day.
Apparently, yeah. Tony.
Didn't that actor look?
Moran.
Doesn't he look exactly like Danny Bonaduce?
Very much like, yes.
Yes, yeah. So that any connection I can make between Van Gogh and the Partridges, I'm pretty happy about that.
Yes, a killer connection.
Exactly. So this felt like Supernatural to me. The
Yeah, it
tone,
does.
the vibe. This is not what I expected of Doctor Who. I don't know why.
Good. That's why I wanted to start with this episode, because it's very unintimidating. If
Yeah.
you like the what I think is great acting, if you like the fun, goofy, quirky story, if you like it always makes me cry a little bit when they go to the museum at the end and Van Gogh gets to hear how Bill Nighy feels about his art and its place in the world. Like, it makes me tear up. So that's why I wanted to start with this one, because it's an unintimidating first step into, like, wait a minute, no, I like this. And Matt Smith was my first Doctor, so I
Okay.
wanted to start with him.
Okay. Well, I was very moved by the whole idea of it, but I was immediately intrigued. I have a real thing for historical fiction, and when you can't tell what's fact and you're like, no, I know that happened on that night, but did it happen with this character? I love novels like that. I really like
Mhm.
that type of blurring of fiction and reality. And that's what this was. So to start off with them at the Musée d'Orsay, I'm putting that in quotes because they didn't film in the Musée d'Orsay, but to have them start off there and be staring at a painting and what is that? What is that creature that no one's ever seen in that painting all these years was such an intriguing premise. Just on its face, that had me instantly leaning in.
Great.
So
That's
yeah,
perfect. That's what you want. You want to be grabbed from the beginning and then taken on a ride.
yes. So then he's like, okay, let's go. Let's talk to Vincent van Gogh and ask
Yep.
about this creature.
Mhm.
So I started writing all my questions for Krissy.
Okay.
What's his deal? Does he time travel, or is he able to drop into any time and place? And what's his job? It's confusing to drop in to a series after it's been on the air for 50 years.
Well, and that's the thing about Doctor Who, is because it has so much history, they never really give you the whole scoop on the Doctor all at once. You have to sort of, even in the pilot episode of when they rebooted the series, they don't tell you everything about the Doctor. They never sit you down and go, okay, here's who he is and here's what he does. Like, it all just is sprinkled and sprinkled throughout the different series, and you're always learning something new about the Doctor. But he is a Time Lord. That's his, like, species. He's the last of his kind.
He's not human.
He's not human.
I
He
think
has
we
2
learned that
hearts.
later.
Yes.
Okay.
And he travels around in his TARDIS, which can go anywhere in time and space. So yes, he can just be like, let's go drop in on Doctor Who. Let's go drop in on Vincent van Gogh. Let's go drop in on Charles Dickens. Let's go see the moon landing. Let's do all this fun stuff in history, but it's also in space. So he can take you to an alien planet in
Right.
a million years in the future as well.
Oh, I know. So I learned that. So I think it's really smart. I am learning about a lot of these things. I've done Lord of the Rings now. I've done Star Trek. I've done some Star Wars. I'm getting used to how much lore they pile in.
Oh,
Generally,
so much.
these things start with a massive monologue about here's the history of all these people and these species and the worlds. And I got to tell you, I get overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
And that's something I resist. I appreciate that Doctor Who doesn't do that, and it frees them up to make up details as they go over season after season after season, right? We can just
Which they
find out he was a twin, or he was, used to be a ball of fire, whatever they want.
Yep.
But if you're really constricting yourselves as creators if you're saying, here's everything about this character that you need to know. And then you have to stay true to all of those rules or boundaries you've established. So I appreciated the lack of lore and history.
You just have to pick it up as you go.
Yeah. I mean, I really liked that. I was confused.
Yeah.
But I liked it. And now you've said TARDIS, which is a fantastic word that I only know because of musical theater.
Oh, really?
Yes,
What musical theater?
I directed a production of Matilda, and
Oh.
the kids all they sing. Wait, I have the lyrics up. Where did I put them? It's something about his
Love
largeness,
Matilda.
like the TARDIS.
Oh, uh-huh.
You have a worm, Bruce, or maybe your largeness is a bit like the TARDIS, considerably roomier inside. And all the
Mm-hmm.
kids said, "What's a TARDIS?" And I had to look it up because this was 5 years ago. I had no idea what a TARDIS was, but now I get that reference.
Yes, it's
And
finally come full circle for you.
musicals reign supreme. It is so goofy and clever
Mhm,
that they go
mhm.
into a phone booth, which is then this secret lair full of weird gadgets and
Secret rooms, and
yeah, it's just
there's a
fun.
pool in there. You
There
find out
is?
at some point there's a pool in there, yeah.
Oh, um, yeah, I dug it. I dug all the wit and charm.
Mhm.
Um, the the lair was. Did you ever watch Odd Squad with your kids on PBS?
No,
Oh, you're missing out. It was a show that taught math through this group of children detectives, or they were in the Odd Squad and they solved all these problems in their community using math. And it was so well done. And they had all sorts of weird gadgets and creatures. And that's what the TARDIS looked exactly like. I think they were made around the same time. So
Oh, that's great.
your kids are
I
too
love
old
child
for,
detectives.
yes, as established. When Doctor Who is trying to reason with the creature, and says he doesn't belong and he understands it's the same.
Mhm,
Right? He's trying to tell the creature, you're from another place, I'm from another place. We don't really belong. A couple weeks ago, read a graphic novel called Superman Smashes the Klan,
mhm,
where Superman is learning about his alien background and he's talking to a young Chinese girl and he's explaining, you feel like you don't belong in America and I feel like I don't belong on this planet and I get it.
mhm.
And it washed over me that that's a huge part of all of this.
Yeah,
You feel
it's
like
part
an
of nerd culture.
outcast. Yes. Right? No one understands you, no one wants you around or so you turn to these stories to feel accepted and seen.
Mhm. Yeah, oh, that I just got shivers. Good paragraph, Mandy. Killing it over there.
Why, thank you, Krissy. That'll do it for this episode. Tune in next week. It's not going to get better than that. But that's what I am loving about all of this, because
Mhm,
although I was never into this as a kid, I was bullied. I was told I can't sit at that lunch table. I was feeling like I was searching for something. I happened to find it in theater and with
mhm.
musicals. But all of these entities are saying, we feel it too, come with us. And it's such a beautiful embrace.
And I think the Doctor does that in a really lovely way because, like, the Doctor will always try and help the alien, even if the alien has killed people, which it does in this episode. He's always still like, "Let me help you. Let me take you back to your home. Let me figure out what's really motivating you. I don't think that you're evil.
Hmm.
You're just different. So let's figure out what's really going on. We don't have to fight. We don't have to kill you," which they accidentally do in this episode as well. And it's very sad that he's always like, let's help, let's get to the real bottom of it, and let's find some acceptance for all these weird things.
Which is lovely, but also, if there's a creature out there killing people, it's okay to kill the creature, right?
Well, they end up doing it, but the
Right.
Doctor will always try and find a way to not kill.
Yeah. And he's a bleeding heart. Two
He's
hearts, you said.
a bleeding double heart. Yep, bleeding two hearts.
Yes. Maybe I'm reading into it because I wanted a little more action. But there was a
Hmm.
lot of, I know there was a Van Gogh, what's Karen Gillan's name? Amy?
Amy
Julie.
Pond.
Amy. Okay. So Amy and Vincent have a lot of chemistry and
Hmm.
flirtation. But
Hmm.
then there was also the same with Doctor Who. There was, like, when they hugged goodbye, I was like, ooh, they're about to get it on.
Oh.
It was, I don't know, there was like a heat between Van Gogh and both of these characters, I found.
Well, Van Gogh was a very sexy man. Yes.
Yeah,
He had
and as is Danny Bonaduce. What?
Yeah, yes.
I don't think that
1890s Danny Bonaduce.
Yes. They animated the Starry Night painting.
Isn't that
Right?
beautiful?
They were looking up at the sky and it became the Starry Night through an animation. And I chills from head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a Van Gogh and I'm a Rembrandt gal. I'm really not a Van Gogh lover. I mean, I admire his work, but wow, was that a gorgeous way to create that. And they're constantly trying to get him to paint what they know he should be painting, like the sunflowers and seeing his room, which is the room in the painting. Y'all, if you have not seen this episode, I cannot recommend it enough.
It's one of my favorite episodes. It's I think a perfect episode of television.
I really felt that too. And then the preview for the next episode stars James Corden.
Yes, James Corden has a recurring role.
Oh, does he?
Yes, he comes back.
So I was blown away by the stars I was seeing in these episodes. Is this, but this one was made, what, 10 years ago?
Oh, more than that. It was
15?
like 2010? I don't know.
So I guess my question is, at the time, Bill Nighy was already a thing.
Yes,
and he did this uncredited. He just did this for fun for Richard Curtis. But do other stars, is it like an SNL thing? Like they want to get their episode they want to go on Doctor Who?
Yes, I think so. I think it's as it goes on, like Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones is on, and they, as the show got more and more popular too, you'd get more and more. Olivia Colman does an episode. It's a star-studded affair.
It is.
And it's always fun to be like, ooh, who's that? Oh my God, look who it is. It's,
right. Totally fun. Totally on board. Praising Krissy throughout my notes. Like, she's done it again, folks.
Woo!
Krissy Lenz, the
we'll
nerd
see if
whisperer.
That continues for the next 2 episodes.
Won't we, though? Dun, dun,
it's all downhill from here.
So let me tell everyone that in season 3, episode 10 called Blink, the 10th Doctor, a time-traveling alien played by David Tennant, is trapped in 1969 and tries to communicate with a young woman in 2007 named Sally Sparrow. Carey Mulligan, like a baby Carey Mulligan. To prevent I know. To prevent the statue-like weeping angels from taking control of the TARDIS, Sparrow and her best friend's brother, Larry Nightingale, Lawrence Nightingale, get it, must unravel a set of cryptic clues sent through time by the marooned Doctor, left in DVD Easter eggs. This could be the nerdiest thing I've ever read.
Yeah.
Just those 4 sentences. Okay. So I pressed play really not knowing anything about, my image of Doctor Who is from PBS when I was a kid.
Yeah, the old long-haired, or the guy with the celery in his lapel. Goofy. It is very goofy.
It's very goofy. I thought it was more of an intense sci-fi situation, but it's really light.
Yeah, it can get intense sometimes, but for the most part, it's silly. It's for the silly gooses out there.
So we're watching Carey Mulligan, a baby Carey Mulligan, and she sees these beautiful old statues who then change positions. And I wrote, they're like ninja cats.
They're like ninja cats, yeah.
Right? Which is one of my favorite things of all time. I might go watch it again after we wrap this up. But these were ninja cat statues. And this one was much headier.
Yes.
And I'm not sure they really completely got the lore or the history across. This one felt a little less clear to me. Like if you look at the statue and you blink, you go back in time and you live out your life and you die. Right? But why?
Yeah.
Why was that?
If the weeping angels get you, They can only move when you're not looking at them. But if they get you, they zap you back in time. And they feed on the energy that's created by zapping you back in time.
Why are they doing this? Like, what is their problem? What's their damage, Heather?
They're just there. They just are plunked down in a place and they got to eat.
Okay. So this was my introduction to David Tennant.
Yes. And it's what they call a Dr. Light episode. So he's only in it a little bit.
On a TV screen, you know, talking to her through a little TV screen, which was cute.
Yeah.
Carey Mulligan's wonderful, but this one felt more like a Sliders. It didn't have the heart. I think it tried to have the heart, and I've never seen Sliders. I'm just going by what my husband tells me about it. But she meets this cop when her friend disappears because she doesn't know her friend went back in time from looking at the statue, right?
Right. The angels got her.
The angels got her. And she meets this hot cop who flirts with her. And he's like, let's go for a drink. And she's like, okay. Then the angels get the hot cop. Then they come back and he's lived his life in the past and now he's back as an old man dying with a message for her. But did they earn that? These two characters who had a flirtation in a parking garage?
Well, for her, it's the same day.
Right, but they flirted.
Yeah.
They flirted. It's not like this was her boyfriend or, you know, the one that got away. They flirted. They were going to go for a drink. And then he ghosted her. And then she's crying and she's like, I'll stay with you.
I thought that was a little weird. And also that there's no one with him at all when he's dying. He apparently had like a big, full, rich life. There should be other people there who are like, who is this woman?
Right. Hey, Grandpa, I'm here. But that's what I meant, that it felt weak. It was still entertaining and the statues were really well done. But it was flimsy. I just wasn't as invested.
Interesting. I chose this one because it's a little bit scary, and at the best of times, Doctor Who can be a little bit scary. There are characters that do things that are a little bit creepy. The Weeping Angels return again and again. We fight them over and over. This is their first appearance.
Okay.
But we learn more about them too as they come and go.
Interesting. Okay.
And
what
I think
a cheap way to produce television. That you just, you know, make these whatever they were made out of, and you're like, now you don't have to animate them or anything because it's all frozen.
Yep, so. You just have to do different statues, and but they're scary when they uncover their faces and their mouths are open.
Yes,
and
with their pointy teeth.
Pointy teeth, they're scary. And I like the sort of encapsulated story. This is like one of a classic. Everyone thinks this is one of the best episodes of Doctor Who.
Really?
Yeah.
And why is that?
I don't know. I think for the same reason that I like it, because it is a little scary. It is a little weird. These angel things that zap you back in time are a little bit mysterious, and they're creepy. They're gonna get you. But they won't kill you. They'll just zap you back in time.
But it is Dr. Light, as you said. Where does David Tennant, I don't know why I find that hard to say. Where does he rank in your rankings of doctors?
For me, he's my second favorite. Yeah, Matt Smith is my favorite. He's my doctor. He was my first doctor. He's my favorite doctor. He has my favorite companion, Amy Pond and Rory Williams. David Tennant is my next favorite doctor. And I would say he's like, look, I have a little one of him right here.
Oh, we have action figures.
A little action figure. He's always with me.
That's hotter than the real David Tennant, I gotta
say. But about the same size, yeah.
I read somewhere he was voted like sexiest man alive or something at some point.
Oh, well, he is a very popular doctor. I think most of my friends think that he's the best one. He's the favorite. 10 is the favorite. 10 has a romance with one of his companions, Rose Tyler. We didn't do any of her episodes with this doctor, but we did do one of her episodes with the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston.
Okay, so Billy Piper. Episode. Is Billy Piper Rose?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a real issue as you continue on this journey with me as my nerd Sherpa,
Mm-hmm.
my Nerpa, if you will. Can I give you a heads up? I don't like baby talk. And I am not a fan of him
Oh.
calling things timey-wimey and wibbly-wobbly and
Oh, no? Oh,
yeah.
I love that part.
Ooh.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff.
Ooh. He did it just a couple times, but every time I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, oh,
Oh, how funny. That's a major catchphrase.
sorry, Dr. Whodum.
Mandy doesn't like your catchphrase.
Right.
And that catchphrases are a big part of Doctor Who.
Oh, what are some other ones?
Like the 10th Doctor will always say Allons-y. And the 11th Doctor always says, bow ties are cool.
Oh,
He
I
says these
remember
things
that.
are
Yeah.
cool. Yeah.
Mhm. How many times have you seen this show that when I said, oh, which episodes should I watch? You quite quickly got back to me with these episodes. How well do you know this?
Well, I've seen them all at least twice. Some of my favorites I've seen a couple of times. I had a Doctor Who themed birthday one year where I made little treats that looked like little pretzels that you dip in chocolate to look like sonic screwdrivers. You put a little M&M on the end so it looks like it's glowing green and blue. There's an episode where people's fat jumps out of them and it looks like they're called adipose and they look like little Stay Puft marshmallows. So you make them out of marshmallows and you draw little faces on them and stuff for a theme party. I love a theme party. So I'm a pretty big Doctor Who nerd. I don't have a Doctor Who tattoo yet, but I've been planning one for some time.
What's
I'm
it
going to
gonna
get a
be?
TARDIS tattoo. I'm going to get a TARDIS tattoo with some sunflowers around it.
Oh, and I will understand your tattoo.
You'll get the reference. Yeah.
I will, and that makes me so happy. So when I say which episodes, do you like if you said to me which episode of Golden Girls should I watch? I would not be able to say season 2, episode 4, but I would be able to say the very special one where Rose thinks she has AIDS. Like
Oh, yeah, that's a great one.
I could name the plots and then look it up. Is that what you did?
I did for 2 of them. Yes.
Okay.
I did not know which one was Blink, and I did not know. I didn't know which one of the 9. I wanted to pick one of the 9th Doctor, one of the very early episodes, but I didn't know which one I was going to pick. So I watched a couple before I changed my mind.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So is that for the end of the world, the next one?
Yep.
Okay, I want to know when we get there. I want to know what your backup episode was. Oh, I'm a genius. Genius alert. I don't know if we have a noise for that, Pete, but let's make a noise for that. I said, what's with the ending? Are we supposed to be afraid of all statues, or do those statues come back at some point? Question mark.
Oh, they do. And you are supposed to be afraid of all statues.
Right, because they were showing statues all over.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're supposed to be afraid of... I have enough fears.
Don't need to add statues to it.
I don't need to add statues. And spiders are a fear of mine. Thank you for the last episode.
Oh, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
They're mechanical spiders, though. They don't count.
Ugh. Yes, you will learn all my isms if you continue to grace me with your nerdy presence.
You're like Doctor
show.
Who. We'll learn little bits and pieces as we go along.
Exactly. That was all I have on Blink. It was fun and interesting, and now technology is changing so much that it was so old-fashioned to say, oh, it's on DVDs, and but
DVDs have these things called Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like laughable. Yeah. It's like, what do you mean you watch past the end of the DVD and there's something there? What is this technology? Oh my goodness.
Yep. But it was fun. And I followed it.
Okay, good.
And then we come to the end of the world.
Yeah.
Season 1. Episode 2, in season 1 on HBO Max. So this was the second episode of the reboot?
Yes.
Okay. So in this episode, the alien time traveler, the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, takes his new companion, Rose Tyler, Billie Piper, 5 billion years into the future, where many rich alien delegates have gathered on a space station called Platform 1 to watch the sun expand into a red giant and destroy the Earth. But the human guest, Lady Cassandra, the voice of Zoe Wanamaker, is plotting to profit from the event by fabricating a hostage situation. I
Yes.
watched this episode and I didn't get any of that.
No.
I found this one very hard to follow.
Yeah. This is one of the goofier ones. So I was like, well, we need to have the top 3 doctors of the original like reboot in there. So I have to have a Christopher Eccleston episode. I thought about doing the pilot, but the pilot is just too silly. It's just too silly.
Mhm.
And the doctor is kind of mean in it. Like I find Christopher Eccleston's doctor a little bit mean.
Dark.
Yeah, he's very dark.
He's my, quote, he's my least favorite of the doctors. He has a darkness I find off-putting. He's pushing. And he bothers Jeremy too.
Yes, he's my least favorite of the new doctors as well.
I got that right.
Yeah, because he is so dark and he's angry and he's mean and he
Yes.
says mean things about humans.
Yes.
So I chose the second episode because I thought it has a nice parade of alien creatures. So you can
Which-
see that side of Doctor Who.
I wrote, during the alien parade, I'm utterly lost and frankly uncomfortable.
Oh,
Didn't care for it.
I like the part where they're giving each other's gifts and he realized he didn't bring anything. So he's like, air from my lungs.
Didn't do
You
it
didn't
for
like
me.
it? You didn't like
No.
it? Because that's part of Doctor Who too, is like we're gonna travel in space, we're gonna meet these weird creatures, we're gonna go on these spacey adventures in addition to the timey-wimey.
Mhm.
And they're gonna be a little bit goofy and silly.
Sure. I mean, there
So I
was
figured
Zoe Wanamaker's voice is really a sheet of skin spread out,
as thin as it can get.
right? Which Billy Piper called a bitchy trampoline, which I laughed at.
Yeah.
With just a little face in the middle.
Mhm.
But I
And
didn't.
she's always going, moisturize me.
Yes. So you said it was goofy, but it's also about the end of the world and watching
Mhm.
planet Earth burn up. So
Mhm.
that is something that makes me sad and anxious. It doesn't make me feel like, now
I
let's be all
see.
goofy and silly. And Billy Piper was really in danger for
Mhm.
the last 10 minutes of the episode of burning in the sun, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so it didn't have, to me, it didn't feel goofy and light. It felt dark, much darker. I was
It
not a
is
fan.
much darker. Yeah. The first season back of Doctor Who is a little bit dark. One of the episodes I considered doing, but didn't do because it's a 2-parter.
Mhm.
It's called The Empty Child. And there's a little kid in a gas mask who goes around going, "Are you my mummy?" And if he touches you, you turn empty.
Oh my God.
And I was like, "Oh, that's a
my
great
God.
episode," but it's a 2-parter, so I was like, "That's too much to ask."
Yeah. It also sounds like it would have given me nightmares. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
could
a little
probably handle
scary.
it. My husband hates creepy kids. So
Oh
when
yeah, well, this
I
is
want
a
to freak
creepy
him out,
kid.
I say like, "But I am your daughter," and he
Yeah, from the
hates
others.
creepy kids. Yeah. So he would not have enjoyed that one.
No, he would not have liked it. That would not have been a Jer episode at all.
No.
But yeah, the whole first season of The Doctor, he's a little bit angry. He's mad about something, and but that's why he only lasts one season. The 10th Doctor is much less angry. He's still a little bit angry and a little bit surly, but then by the time you get to Matt Smith, almost all the anger is gone, and he is just along for the ride.
Yeah, he's like Hugh Grant-esque, Matt
Yeah.
Smith, with his
Mhm.
lightheartedness. So when you say he only lasted one season, did the people speak up and say, we don't like this guy? Or why did they get rid of Eccleston?
There's a little bit of controversy about it, whether he signed on for only one season. Like the story goes that he signed on for only one season, and he was like, "This is some goofy stuff. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
You get me for one and done." Eccleston's
Okay.
a one and done. And then,
But it wasn't like the fans wrote in and said, replace him.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. This was also before the internet would have had that much effect.
Yeah,
Right? Before you
uh-huh.
could campaign on the internet.
right in the beginnings of it.
Yeah. I had some questions even at the end. Wait, where is he from? Why is it remarkable he exists? Why is she sorry? And then I said, oh, wait, they explained it, but I still don't get it.
Yeah, because his world, all the Time Lords get destroyed in something called the Time War, which they don't really tell you very much about. You sort of have to piece it together as you go.
You have
there
to
was
jump
a big
to
war
the left and step to the right.
and then do your hips
Put your
and bring
hands
your
on your
knees in,
hip.
right? Yeah. Let's see. Yes, it was 2006, so it was a little bit before people could complain on the internet with much success. But yeah, he's the last of the Time Lords, and he's got the last TARDIS left, and so him being a traveler is pretty unique, and he always has different companions.
Gotcha. And I didn't see how he met Tara Reid and Nev Campbell's love child, Billie Piper. But how did that happen in episode 1? Because they were newly acquainted.
They were, yes. He found her working at a shop that was the first episode, the pilot. Everything plastic is coming to life.
Okay.
So all of the mannequins in the shops are coming to life and attacking people. And so that's how he meet her, because she works in a shop where all the mannequins come to life, and he ends up taking her on his adventure to defeat the evil plastics.
Okay, some people call that kidnapping, but she was running with such joy alongside him to start the episode. So
at the very end of the pilot episode, he's like, you could come with me. I have a spaceship that goes all around space. And she's like, no, thanks. And she's like, did I tell you it goes in time too? And she's like, all right, I'm in. And she runs into the TARDIS with him.
Gotcha.
So this is only their second adventure together. So she's new to it, just like we are.
Gotcha. Yeah, the first two really had a Twilight Zone feel. This isolated story that you can dive in and get a fix and dive back out. This one felt, I guess, too connected to other things for me to really get invested.
And that's why I wanted to choose something like that, because I thought, well, if you like the first one and the second one, and then you can get on board for the third one, then Doctor Who is for you. But if you can't get on board with the third one, you're not going to love all of it. You're only going to love bits and pieces.
This was my litmus test.
Yeah, exactly. This was the real challenge.
Gotcha. I am going to watch the one with James Corden.
It's great. It's a great episode. And there's a bunch with James Corden. He comes back.
Okay. Well, that one the story, I can't remember what it was. He's living with his girlfriend.
The lodger, yeah.
Yeah. That looked intriguing to me. So I will check that out. By golly.
Yay.
Yay.
And I think you would like Matt Smith as the Doctor. There's an episode that I almost picked called Dinosaurs on a Spaceship.
Okay.
That's really great. There's a Western episode that's really great. As I particularly like Matt Smith's season 7. I think it has a lot of great episodes in it that are like the silly, goofy, fun one and done. And the actor who plays Arthur Weasley turns up.
That is a Harry Potter reference.
That's a Harry Potter reference. I don't know his real name, but he's a famous guy. You'd see him and be like, oh, that guy, he's famous.
Okay. I don't know Harry Potter.
You haven't done Harry Potter yet.
No, I mean, I read it with my son when he was 6 or 7, you know. So I did read the first one. I don't really remember it.
Okay.
But I don't know if I want to do Harry Potter. I don't know that I want to praise J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's
right?
tough. That's a rocky hill to climb these days.
Yes.
So
I
just
think
stay away from it.
Yeah.
Just stay away altogether.
Pretend it doesn't exist.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to do my business, and then you're going to tell everyone where they can find you and follow you. Okay.
Okay.
So Make Me a Nerd is a production of True Story FM, engineering by Pete Wright, who has his work cut out today. Wink. My theme song is Wonderstruck by Jane and the Boy. Please reach out on social media at Mandy_Kaplan_Clavens, both with K's. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcast, please do me a favor, take 30 seconds and write a review, hit the 5 stars. It really helps to spread the word about the podcast and help it grow. And if you really want to support my mission here, go to makemeanerd.com and hit the join button. $5 a month gives you more access to me, some secret content that others aren't getting, and it helps support my podcast here. It ain't free to do this, people. So I would be forever, eternally, extremely grateful if you would become a member of the Make Me a Nerd Membership society. We don't have a clever name for it yet. Also, make up a clever name for it and send it to me on socials. Tell me, Krissy Lenz, where can everybody find and enjoy you? Because you are just such a goddamn delight.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, I would love it if you would listen to my podcast, the Most Excellent 80s Movies podcast, where we review the 80s movies we think we love or might have missed, or the Gank That Drank, a supernatural drinking game podcast, where we watch Supernatural and play along with drinking game rules that we made up, both on True Story FM. Or if you're in the downtown Mesa, Arizona area, come see me at the Neighborhood Comedy Theater, where I do improvised comedy every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night.
Woo! I wish I could.
One day we'll bring you out here.
I would love that.
We dragged Pete out here, so
you
we'll
did?
have to drag you. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Drag away.
Okay.
All right. Well, I have some exciting stuff coming up. I know I'm reading Dragonlance.
Ooh, Dragonlance. Oh, that's exciting.
You lit up. She sat up straight. Her
I've
eyes
always
got
wanted to
big
read
and
it.
wide.
Yeah.
You've never read it?
No, I've always wanted to.
Well, someday you'll be nerdy like me, Krissy.
Someday.
And I also think I'm doing The Watchmen. Reading The Watchmen.
Who watches The Watchmen? Yeah. That's heavy.
The graphic novel, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I'm doing it. I don't know what it really is. But
It's
so those are two things coming up. If you want to hop on those so you can be part of the discussion, I would love that. And until then, thank you everybody for listening.
Bye.